I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
O'Day is not letting up on the diddler, because she's back at it again with receipts to expose how Diddy manipulated her. And the other girls of Danity Kane, Aubrey has been speaking up about this for quite some time now. But this time her group member Dawn Richards is backing her up, and they do not plan on letting it go until the world knows what they went through. In fact, Dawn actually took it a step further by filing a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of depriving her of food and sleep and refusing to pay her adequately. Dawn even went as far as claiming that she saw Diddy putting his hands on both Kim Porter and Cassie. And when she tried to intervene, he threatened to take her life and dispose of her body. So let's get right into this mess, because there's so much tea to sip on here now. For those of y'all who don't know, Aubrey and Dawn were both part of the very popular girl group Danity Kane, which was signed to Diddy's very fraudulent record label, Bad Boy Entertainment. The group was made up of 5 girls: Andrea, Woods, Shannon, Dawn, and Aubrey. He actually signed them to his label after discovering them on MTV's Making a Band. At the time, the girls were happy to finally get signed because they thought this was going to be a great partnership. But it did not take long for them to realize they had actually made the biggest mistake of their lives. Funny enough, even though Diddy was mistreating them girls, Aubrey was the only one who was brave enough from the start to speak up, and he ain't like that very much.
I'm done with all of that.
No. Like, what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown out. Whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about. For real. Like, maybe you just don't get.
She said Diddy would body shame the hell out of them and say the nastiest things about their bodies every time they would gain a little weight or switch up their hairstyle a bit. He treated them like they was his personal dolls and controlled every aspect of their life. But of course, the only one who had the guts to stand up was Aubrey, and she absolutely got hated for it.
During a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are insane.
Aubrey said Diddy would try to convince the other girls to indulge in freak-off activities against their will, and would very brutally, verbally, and psychologically mistreat them when they rejected these advances. In fact, Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, said he overheard Diddy talking about how he was going to tear the girls up and pimp them out to his guys so they could have their way with him.
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights. So
the crazy thing is, Diddy tried to silence the girls shortly before Cassie's lawsuit came out by making them sign NDAs in exchange for the publishing rights to their music, which he's kept to himself for decades. But Aubrey convinced the girls not to sign it. It turns out that it wasn't just Danny Kane's publishing rights he was trying to give back. Apparently, he had gotten in touch with all the artists signed under Bad Boy to give them back, but only if they signed NDAs promising to never speak on what he did to them. Diddy knew Cassie's lawsuit was going to encourage more of his victims to come out, and he tried to get ahead of it by shoving NDAs down their throats. In fact, Aubrey revealed that he bought them these new NDAs just a few weeks before Cassie slapped them with the law. Fortunately, Aubrey knew something major was going to happen to him for him to be suddenly rushing them to sign these NDAs. So she told the girls not to sign it and just wait and see what comes up.
And I'm giving you this, Aubrey, He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm a their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my, he said, I'm gonna them out. I'm gonna get them all on, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my, and I was like, there's somebody kids, and walked out. And it's somebody that heard me. It's somebody that heard me. I mean, well, it's not only somebody that heard me, it's somebody that I know who was in the studio at the time that happened, and I still talk to him today. And we were just talking about that the other day. He done moved back to Indiana. I don't know why. I'm gonna give you that one. He said he was gonna drop them all out and pimp them out.
Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, confirmed this as well when he said, Danity Kane, we actually the only ones who didn't sign that NDA. Everybody else signed it. But as a result of Aubrey clocking that something fishy was going on, the girls head back and didn't sign.
I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
So that you just got recently for this thing?
I got it a few months ago when he started doing
what's
this.
In the news now?
So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote at a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1 million times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay? It's hundreds of dollars. And me, as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now and talking about boy bands and girl bands.
But did he make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him?
Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists when he gave them their publishing back. I'm gonna give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to. And I think that's those girls that was, I think Danity Kane. I think a couple of them didn't sign it. And boy, oh boy, they probably gonna go out.
And do y'all remember the time that Diddy put up that ridiculous apology video? After the footage of him physically attacking Cassie at the hotel got leaked, Aubrey was one of the first people to call him out that fake apology, and she went in on him. She posted statement that Diddy had made a few months ago, basically calling Cassie a liar. And she said Diddy did not apologize to Cassie. He apologized to the world for seeing what he did. He says he's disgusted with himself now, and was disgusted with himself then, but apparently he wasn't disgusted enough with himself not to pin this statement out, calling her a liar and denying all of it. Leave God and mercy out of this. They aren't present here. And you know it, for the longest time, Aubrey was the only D2IK member who had the balls to go after Diddy. But that changed a few weeks ago, when Don Richards, who was also a member of the group, filed a lawsuit against Sauce Starvation, verbal abuse, intimidation, and millions of dollars of unpaid work. Dawn also claimed she witnessed Diddy physically mistreat Cassie on numerous occasions and saw Diddy and his associates engaging in illegal and freak-off acts with underage girls. And do y'all remember the allegations that Aubrey made about Diddy mistreating them and body-shaming them when they were signed under Bad Boy? Dawn supported those claims by giving her own account of what she endured under Diddy.